All right, welcome to our weekly CEOPro app training. The CEOPro app, which is here on my phone, is my number one favorite how to recruit, how to sell, what to send, how to track people, what did they watch, how am I doing, what are my real vital statistics, and how's the team doing, and who's number one on the leaderboard, and where am I on the leaderboard? Wow, that's a lot. Tool, that was all description of the tool called the CEOPro app, my favorite thing in the world to grow my business. And on a weekly basis, we do a 15 to 20-minute training on various aspects of the app. The app is super easy to use. It's pretty doggone intuitive, meaning that if you just kind of fiddled around with it, you can figure it out. But we do these trainings to help you really dive in to understand individual capacities and capabilities of the app, just to make you that much more effective when you have it open. So I want to thank Cameron Powell, who is dialing in remote. He is with the CEOPro app platform provider, Rapid Funnel. And he's going to walk us through this week's lesson. By the way, last week's lesson, workshop number 5, was all about the numbers, all about the statistics. And we talked about the number one statistic to know in order to grow your business. Today, we're talking about pre-written text messages. This is something that changed my business. When I had something to say that I knew was good, that I knew had worked for other people and had worked for me, it just made things a little easier, right? It was like greasing the wheels. It was like paving that bumpy dirt road. Oh, well, I know what to say, so let's say it. And the app has that capability. We've programmed that in there. So you don't have to worry necessarily about, well, what do I say when I send the video? Or what do I say here? Or what do I say when I want to invite them to an event? Guess what? The app's going to do it for you. And with that, Cameron, I just served up, an amazing meal. Let's dive in. Go ahead.
We're ready there. Great intro there, Seth. Thank you much. And yeah, pre-written messages. This is what I like to call the business of doing the business, right? The idea of actually breaking the ice. If you're a brand new rep, a lot of people, think they got to go out and grab all these different systems just to start their business. Really, you just got to start talking to people. And a lot of people struggle with the words to say. So a tool like this, partner with someone like Seth and some great field leaders, we're going to write out the intro messages to start these ever important conversations, whether on product or the recruitment side. So you can really increase those exposures and those engagements we spoke about last week. So why using them to break the ice works. And we're going to go over a step-by-step action plan, starting the conversation. We'll dive into a few of those resources today. And of course, we'll look into creating some more as well, which is just as important. The challenge, breaking the ice with new connections isn't always easy. You might have just started your new business here with LifeVantage, and you don't know how to introduce this to friends, family, people in your circle. But if you have the proven words from somebody who's gone out and done this and duplicated it, you're going to feel a lot more confident in utilizing those words to grow your business. And it's difficult to know if a prospect is open-minded and has a need. That's where the tracking comes in. That's where starting these conversations important. Really important note here, a lot of people don't know this, is what your cell phone carrier does not tell you. So everybody listen up here. If you send a link, so if you just were to send over the collagen video to a number where you didn't have any prior conversation, networks will block those messages. Okay. More and more these days, they're starting to block those messages if there's no prior conversation. So if you're to just send over a link to, go to your business page or to send it out, those will get blocked. So it's really important to have a pre-written message, what we call permission-based marketing. Hey, starting a new business, got some products I think you'll really like. If I sent over a 2-minute video, would you take a few minutes to watch it? Permission-based opens up the dialogue. We can now send that link over, and we can go from the tracking and utilize the tool after that. So just be careful just blasting out a bunch of links without prior conversation, because you won't even know if it was blocked. You just the carriers will block it and it never actually gets to your prospect. So creating dialogue and get permission via pre-written messaging, how to play better with your cell phone provider. We just reviewed that. And these best practices here, better way to identify interest. So we can work to, set up some pre-written messaging around like a cold market, warm market, and even where some of these folks came from as well. So I'll make sure to work with Seth on setting up some new ones, and you guys will see those in the tool soon. And it's a simple, fun, and effective approach to prospecting for you and your potential customer. And once again, you can really increase those exposures because you're not having to type it out, copy, paste. You're picking a few contacts, starting the conversation, and you're moving on from there. So anything to add, Seth, before I jump into my mobile device here?
I think that's great. I think what I want people to take away, what I'm taking away from this is, number one, you want to make sure that you are having conversations. If you're going to be sending documentation, right? If you're going to be sending links, you via text message. Again, text messages over carrier lines, right? AT&T, Verizon, whoever, right? You need to have, before you send that video, you're probably going to want to make sure that you've had conversations. Wait a second. We already know that because we would never just blank start spamming friends, our friends, the video or the video links. But it's a great reminder. Keep in mind that a lot of us are also utilizing, in substitution of using our carriers and sending text messages. The beauty of this app is you have the ability to send emails. You can send the same information via email, or my number one preference over email is via social media, right? So there are various ways that you can send resources. Text is a little more cumbersome because of carrier requirements, right? And auditing. But yeah, let's keep it up, rock and roll.
Yeah,
The one thing I'll say is, you don't have to overthink this business. Don't overthink it. Find scripting that works for you within the app and roll with it, right? Use it. That's the number one thing. It's really not about perfecting every word we say. It's not about saying more to the people in front of us. It's about saying little to a lot more people. And that's what the app's helping us to do. Keep it
absolutely. And yeah, and that's a great point. And a good note as well, if you are finding words that work or a certain intro message that's leading to that product being sold or somebody on your team, share that with the rest of the team so we can duplicate this, right? Remember, this is a scalable tool to grow everybody's business. So I'm under a contact here, best practice. Remember, we're under the contact. We want to send the resource when we're under that contact. That's going to open this up and we get our different systems in here. We go to the ITT system and the invite here. So this is where we're going to add in some pre-written messaging for you. So we can actually introduce some of these surveys or these links here. Or for example, we have some start scripts. We can see here text messages to send one of these. So if it was the biohacking, we can highlight that. All right. We're going to see the options Seth just went over. We can email it, we can text it, and we can share it on social media. So if you're having a conversation on Messenger, of course, we would utilize Messenger or LinkedIn if it was the text message reasoning, and then email. So we can click that link. It's going to open up our different ways of social media. For this example, I can click the text message icon here, and we can preview all of these messages as well. So Seth, do you see a place for yourself here, building something together? Here's the next simple step. So it's already pre-written message. You're giving context. So instead of just sending over a video link, if we don't provide context to what that link leads to, a prospect's not going to be very incentivized to click it. Whereas if we have a nice pre-written message tied to all these resources, it's going to increase our click rates, or what we talked about, our engagement rates, which furthers those relationships with these folks as well. So once again, if it was talking about value, we click that, we click our message. You can see here, it preloads the information over to that person, and we can click send. So I will make a note as well as this week, I'm going to work with Seth on creating a few resources. We're going to set up a new category for you guys. You will probably see this in the next couple of days. What we call Seth a step 0, where we'll actually add some intro messages. So a couple messages to help you guys start the conversation here, and then get into some of the other products, tools I know we have some great pre-written messaging here with the collagen as well. And we'll just continue to improve this tool. And of course, appreciate feedback from all of you as to help as well. And just a quick note, we can see here, I'm up on company. Okay, we will be training on this in a few weeks. But if you go to personal, you guys can create your own resources. So don't want to jump the gun here, but if you have some wording that's really helped you build your business over the past couple months and you want to duplicate that, you can go in here and create your own pre-written message. So that way you're not typing it out or having to do that copy paste thing anymore. You can save that. If it's a tool that, you know, is absolutely killer and something that we think the whole team should have, please send it over to me and Seth, and we'll be happy to make it available. But companies giving us access to all of the LifeVantage CEOPro resources in here, whereas our personal are loaded. And once again, all of these different resources are going to have a little bit of context to sending it. And we're going to set you guys up with some new starter scripts here to start the conversation, whether on the business or the product side.
Cameron, can you open up start scripts again, just really quickly? And let's go to text messages. This and what we're looking at here would be relevant to any resource. We're basically now using scripts. Did you even know, by the way, did you even know that you had scripting? Part of the script doc is sitting here right in our app, right? It makes it so incredibly easy. So, oh, if you'll stay there, Cameron.
I just wanted to open up that doc and see.
Perfect. So you can see that the scripting is of course tied to the links, but I want to show you in the app right there. If you're on the left hand side of the screen of your app and you click the box, that's the box that says, I'm going to send this, right? But if you click on the bigger preview box, and this goes with resources as well, it'll actually, if you click on that right-hand box, it's going to show you what you're sending, right? So if you ever have a question about, well, what was this and how do I, the app, you've got a choice. On the right, hey, I want to just preview what I'm sending. On the left is, okay, now I'm ready to send it. So go check out the start scripts. Some of these are start scripts, some are follow-up scripts, you know, some of them are closing scripts, if you will. They're already pre-programmed in there. And the key, and if they're in here, we've been using them and they've been used for a long time, okay? They're tested. So find the ones that resonate with you, right? Find the ones that resonate with you and start using them. And it's more about getting repetition and a flow and a feel as opposed to micromanaging every single connection or every single interaction with a person and saying, did I say the right thing? I'm not really worried about it. If it's in here, it's good. You're super smart, intelligent. You've got a high emotional EQ. If you're like, yeah, I'd say that, I'm cool with saying that, boom, send it. And don't necessarily worry about the results. But if you were to send 10 follow-ups today, right? Instead of worrying about that one, did I say the right thing? Or, well, I want to make sure I say the right thing. If you were to say, oh, I'm going to send this 10 of these to 10 different people, that's when you start to see movement, right? Because roughly 10% of the people that you're going to contact are ready to take the next step. Back to you, Cameron.
Yep. So I just want to show you. So like Seth mentioned, we click it, that highlights it for our different ways to send it. Okay. If we actually click on the wording, that's going to open up the pre-written message there. So really easy for you guys to view that. Okay, I like the way that sounds. Then we can send it. And then if you're clicking the preview over to the right side, that's when you can actually check the link out. So kind of 3 different ways. Middle clicking is description. This is to actually view it. And over here is where we're actually highlighting and send it. Just want to show you one more time. So you can change this as well. You know, Seth, we can actually edit this. Of course, duplication wise, you don't have to if you find the wording that works. But if you want to customize this just a little bit, you can jump in here and type a few words before you send that over, or same thing on Facebook. Biggest thing is just be careful next to the link. Just don't put any letters in front of or after that link. Just type there at the beginning of that message. So we're going to jump back here. Yep.
You talk about customization, right? You're thinking, well, if I customize it, then I'm actually not using the system. Well, the system already pre-programmed everything, right? But you're dealing with a person. If I had a conversation with Faye, hi Faye, today, and we had this awesome conversation, and she knew I was going to follow up with her. She didn't, but I said, "Oh yeah, I need to follow up with her," because she said, "Hey Seth, yeah, let me know what you think," or "Seth, I'm thinking about it. I just need a day." Awesome. I still follow up with her with one of these scripts and maybe a follow-up link, and I can customize the front end of that and say, "Hey Faye, I really enjoyed our conversation today. I really respect you as a person and for what you're doing professionally." And then everything else is already there. So you literally are using the system. You're just maybe adding a little bit more of that sweet cream, a little bit more, you wanted a custom scoop on top of that apple pie. So we put another half scoop, but the pie itself is part of the system. You didn't have to go create that. So.
Yep, absolutely. It's a lot faster than, trying to copy these links or have them saved on your notes tab somewhere. They're already in the tool, but the more you personalize these, if you're quick at typing here on your mobile device, take you a few extra seconds just to make that message connect with that person a little bit more or add a little bit more context to it as well. All right, Seth, that's about our 20-minute mark here. If you got anything to add on the application, I can definitely answer a few questions.
Yeah, let's jump into questions, and we'll keep the recording on for the questions. Yeah, there's the bulk of it. And the reason it was so fast is because it's already in the app, right? The app's already letting you know what you can say that works. So.
Perfect. Okay. Looks like we had one question in here. Melanie, is there a way to make it easier to adjust customizing the messages in Messenger? It sometimes glitches. That's something I can look into, Melanie. I will see. I can try it on my device after this, and I can get back to her. We can talk about this next week. When you say glitch, I don't know if you mean that it's actually, glitching, like not sending correctly, or just weird to edit that. So I'll have to get back to you on that one.
I'll give you an example. Here's what happens, Cameron. When you go to send a resource and then you hit social media, it doesn't matter what reason, you hit social media, and it brings up, well, actually one thing I've noticed, Melanie, like if I want to send a resource via social media, and I click the resource, I click social media button, then it brings up a screen that looks like this, and it's giving me all these options for social media. And at the very top, it's got my text, right? On one line. It's just the very top. And you're like, how do I edit this? Okay. Well, the easiest way to edit is actually choose the social media platform you want to send. So if I'm just going to click on Messenger, right? Because it gives you social media options. Like I could actually airdrop it, or Messenger, or I could email it, or Facebook, or something like. There's all these options. Messenger is the one we typically choose the most. If you do it there, pardon me, then it actually brings up all that text, not just on one line at the top, and it makes it easier to customize it. So that is one thing.
Thanks. Yep, no, that's the best way to do it. Always click into the actual social media app. It's going to be a lot easier and take you to that screen. As far as next week goes, let's see what we're training on. So we will be training on surveys next week. So we already have a couple of surveys in there. We'll be training on how to use them, how to actually post them on social to create some new leads. And each time somebody fills out a survey for you, the CEOPro app will actually create that prospect in your tool as well. So a nice little way to create some leads and, gather information. And of course, hopefully with Seth's help, we can coach on the answers and how to steer the conversation or what's best to send next after that as well. So I will see everybody here next week. The recordings, remember, are in the coaching section. And Seth, if you got anything you want to say to close this out.
Yeah, recordings are on the CEO YouTube channel, but even better, they're in the coaching section of your CEOPro app. Yet another reason I absolutely love this app. It is really a one-stop shop. So Cameron, thank you. I'm gonna stop the recording.